What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and it's Halloween tonight. Happy Halloween if you celebrate it. I know it's not everybody's type of thing, but I thought for my peeps who do celebrate Halloween, I would do a bit of a spooky layout today. So this photo is a bit of a gianter photo than my usual thing, and this, I think it's a 6x8. By the measurements of that paper pad, I think it's a 6x8. And I have, when was this from? It was from our first house that we moved out to. So it must have been about 21, 22 years old. And Aaron and I love to throw a party. Pre-kids, we used to throw so many costume parties and just have lots of fun with our fellow nerdy costume-loving friends. And I think we've had 3 Halloween parties before. This was one of the first ones, and Aaron and I went as zombies. He is a zombie surgeon, and I am a zombie schoolgirl. And this was the first year that we had to play with like fake blood and makeup and things, which was something a bit different for us. And so I have a whole bunch of photos from this particular party, and I'm going to scrapbook them in what I'm calling my kind of my 20s album. And I want to go back periodically when I'm sick of scrapping current days of project life. I want to go back and just pick random photos from my 20s to scrapbook, because we did have some great times, and I definitely did not take as many photos as I do now because this was pre-project life for me. I didn't know what project life was. This probably was about 2010, 2011, and I started scrapbooking in 2013. And so I can't go back and do like a project lifestyle album because I don't have enough photos, but I definitely can scrap the highlights. So I don't have a lot of Halloween embellishments and papers and things. Actually, I have none. I have absolutely zero. So when I did a recent order, they were having a bit of a clearance on some older collections, and I picked this one up, which I think is a crate paper, I want to say. It's not a most recent collection, might have been from last year or maybe even the year before or the year before. And I just really liked it because it had that still had that cutesy vibe, which is much more my jam than the scary Halloween-y vibe. Here in Australia, we don't really do Halloween. It's not a general thing. At our old house, we used to have a lot of trick-or-treaters because we had a lot of children who lived nearby. And so they would come. Last year, where we currently live, we had none, absolutely zero. Archie is a big fan of Halloween because if there's any other fellow parents or carers out there, do you know Blippi? Blippi runs our lives. If Blippi likes something, then we all must like something. And Blippi has he's a YouTuber who dresses up. It's like a kids presenter, kind of like a YouTube kids show. And he goes to different museums and play centres and, teaches kids about colours and numbers and things. And he has a particular Halloween song, which Archie's a big fan of. And this year he has asked if he can dress up for Halloween. And so if we're out of lockdown, I'm recording this before Halloween, so I'm not sure if we're still in lockdown as we speak. But if we are, I'm going to let him pick something from the costume box and go, and we'll drive to 3 of his grandparents' houses and knock on their doors, and he can trick or treat at their houses instead of the neighbourhood, because we don't really know any of our neighbours. But while I've been rambling on, this page did throw me a little bit. I will admit I was a bit lost because I think it's because I was using types of embellishments and colours that are not my usual jam. Pink and blue is my comfort level. Pink, blue, floral, That's my happy place. Throw in some hearts, some polka dots, some stars, and we're good. Orange and black is not what I'm comfortable with. And I think that, you know, it's nice to challenge yourself sometimes and do something completely out of your comfort zone. I don't do a lot of themed scrapbooking, only really Christmas. And so I did struggle a bit with this, and because it was my first time using these embellishments, I wasn't familiar with what was in the packets. And so I did take a little bit of time just kind of flicking through and picking what I like to call the finalists of the packets to see, you know, what particular things I might be able to use. Something else that also threw me a bit on this page is that I picked this house background paper, which I absolutely love because I'm a sucker for maps and little houses, and I just think they're so adorable. But it was a bit of a busy background, and I picked the houses because this was, you know, our little house party where we had, I think it was 8 or 10 of our friends. It was only a very small one. We only had a very small house, so we couldn't, even if we wanted to do more, we couldn't have fit anyone else in there. But I chose the houses because this particular house that we lived in, it was our first move. We were both still in university. Were we both? Was I in? Yeah, I would have been in university. And so it was a very tiny little house, and I just associate this house with catching up with friends. That's most of my memories of here are of when our friends came over and we had costume parties for birthdays, or we had board game nights, or murder mystery parties. Oh, I love them. And so I thought the house paper was an appropriate choice. So I'm going through the ephemera pack, and I wanted to pop this bat up on some craft foam. And I feel like when you have a busy background with a lot of things going on, it's nice to kind of separate your embellishments from your background a little bit and not make them blend into what's going on in the background. Kind of give them a bit of a a bit of emphasis on their own. Give them a little shining moment to themselves, I guess. Next, I have this little ephemera piece of Frankenstein's monster, and even though Aaron's not Frankenstein, it was the exact same colour as his scrubs, and so I popped that one on. And then, does anyone remember these stickers? This is, without doubt, my oldest scrapbooking sticker of anything. It's my oldest sticker stash ever. And I used to beg my parents for pocket money so that I could buy these Bryce and Madeline stickers. I think that's what they're called. And I had a few of them. There used to be a scrapbook superstore, it was called, in Erina on the Central Coast where I live. And any of my fellow coasties remember that? This would have been, a good 15 years ago, or even more maybe. And I loved that place. This is before I really knew what scrapbooking was. I just knew that it had stickers, and I love stickers as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old girl. And I have recently found those Halloween ones and also a baby set as well. And so it's fun to include them in some projects because style's a bit different of the stickers these days. But I think that if you put together these little mini kits, I kind of saw this page, it came together using a mini kit of supplies. And if you have those types of older stickers in your stash that you just don't know how you're going to find motivation to use them, or maybe they're too precious so you don't want to use them, pop them in a little mini kit with some other bits and pieces. It doesn't necessarily have to be a themed kit like this Halloween one is. But I feel like when you group things together and give them like a communal purpose towards each other, it makes you want to use them more. These little stickers, they had no stick left. They were done with being adhesive, so I just grabbed my glue stick and popped some extra glue under them. And then there was a lot happening. There was a lot happening on this page, but I needed somewhere to journal. and I couldn't just write straight onto the background paper because it's too busy and there's lots of little things going on in there. So I grabbed an orange circle label, and then just to make it stand out again, I did a little dashed line around the outside, around the outside, around the outside. And then I felt like it needed something. There was a lot of black and orange, and like I said before, the colour scheme was just out of my comfort zone. And so to rein it back into Adele land, I decided to inkify it and add some gold, some more gold. We have the gold in the title, but it needed something else. So I'm grabbing these chipboard little stars from Citrus Twist that I may have bought about 5 packets of. They came in a Life Crafted monthly kit subscription, and I liked them so much that I purchased several of them. And I feel like they were just the perfect way to give this layout, a bit of a different pop that the black and orange just wasn't doing for me. I have these enamel dots, and these are divine. I recently stumbled upon them. I have a feeling, don't quote me on this, but they could be ultra new, I think. And there are so many teeny tiny embellishments, so many teeny tiny enamel dots on that sticker sheet, and I love them. I need to find a pink one. All right, peeps, I hope this page has given you a little bit of a smile today. If you are celebrating Halloween, tell me what you're doing. Are you dressing up? Are your children dressing up? Let me know. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.